So last week I went jet skiing and kayaking for the first time. And maybe that doesn't sound like a really big deal, but let me ask you a question. When was the last time you did something that absolutely would terrify you? When was the last time you just kind of threw caution to the wind and said yes and just took on something that you normally would not do? So let's back up. Yes, I am an island boy. And I am an island boy who cannot swim. I know it sounds like an oxymoron. To make matters worse, I'm an island boy who cannot swim, who loves the water. Yes, just makes no sense, but it is me. Okay, so there it is. But it always kept me in a situation where, I stayed near the shore. Okay. Heck, didn't even care much for going out on boats too much because I wanted to stay near the shore. So we went on a family vacation, and wife said to my son, because he was only there for a part of the time because he had to go back to school. He said, "Well, while you're with us, we want to do an activity that you want to do. So you get to choose an activity you want to do, right?" And of course, my 20-year-old son says, "I want to go jet skiing." Now, I'm sure he imagined that the answer was going to be no, that we would say, okay, 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 choose something else. But instead, I said, oh, heck yeah, let's go. So he found it and we went. Um, we went, right? And so I threw caution to the wind and I got on a jet ski. First time ever. Out there on the water on a jet ski. And yeah, it was a bit of a mess to start until I started getting the hang of it. So it's me and my wife on one jet ski and I'm driving, and it's him and my youngest daughter on another jet ski and he's driving. And he had gotten the hang of it long before I did, and they were just zipping around, going. Okay, took me a little while, but it took me a little while to get over myself. Okay, let's call a spade a spade. But I did. I got over myself, and we got on a jet ski, and we were going around, and so now I'm at this point where I'm comfortable, and I've got the thing at full throttle, and we're like zooming, and we're turning at full speed, and we're just having a great time. And I get on one of these my longest run actually at full speed, and I look off into the distance at where the kids are, and I see their jet ski, but I don't see children. Okay? All right, parents, y'all know that situation. You know that. Okay. Fly over to the kids. Where are the kids? They're in the water. They fell off. Now, neither of them can swim either. Jet skis over here, kids are over here. They can't get to the jet ski. So obviously, freaked out situation. Long story short, they were fine. They got back on the jet ski. They got back to shore. Everybody was fine in the end. Now, that would have in the past caused me to put pause and real caution. Okay, real like caution. Yeah, this is why we stay close to the shore. We love the water, but you don't go too far because yeah, we're not falling off of jet skis. Okay, um, but then a couple days later, we're walking and I see kayaking. Now I've never done kayaking. I've never been in a kayak. I have no idea how to control. I know nothing about kayaking. Okay? But there's kayaking, and I'm like, we're going kayaking. Now, here's why this gets a little bit interesting. Because on the jet ski, there was a guy who was kind of the lifeguard who was overseeing and saw everything, and he could see everything. In this kayak situation, yeah, these guys were just working and they didn't care a thing about it. You pay them the money, they put you in the kayak, and they're like, goodbye, come back in when your time is up. And where they were sending you, no one could see you, right? And my question to the guy was, so, how deep is this water? He said, well, it gets at least 9 foot or so. And I'm like, oh boy, okay. And we're in a kayak, right? But I'm like, we're going all in. All in, we're going to go do it. Got in the kayak. Yeah, there was some fits and starts. There were, right? Especially since in order to get out, we had to fight against the current. But that's a whole nother story. Bottom line, had a great time in the kayak, never fell out, never fell out. Got to the place of starting to understand how to actually work the kayak and so on and so forth. Had a fantastic time. And my question to you, when was the last time you went all in? When was the last time you threw caution to the wind? You said, T, well, what does this have to do with business? You see, this is the thing. It has everything to do with business. Because you play like you practice. You play like you practice. Now, I'm not saying that I went to the place with kayaking where I was just out and open and I was doing all kinds of, I don't know if you do tricks in the kayak or not, because I don't know anything about kayaking, right? But I pushed myself to the limit in that little thing called a kayak of how far I was going to willing to do and things I was going to trying in it, because we've got to start embracing our limits. You've got to start embracing your limits. You see, you are where you are and you've been stuck where you are. Look, I'm going to call a spade a spade. You've been stuck where you are because you're unafraid to take the chance. You're unafraid to fall off the jet ski. You're afraid to fall out of the kayak. Listen, as I learned when my daughter and my son fell out of it, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And if you fall and you bump your knee, it's all right. You can get back up. But the playing it safe that we've been doing, the playing it safe that society has taught us to do, is keeping us boxed in and keeping you from allowing the superhero inside of you to really come out. And it's time for that to come out. But you can't get there if you keep playing it safe. You have to be willing to push yourself to the limit. You have to be willing to say, hey, I'm going to go as far as I can go. Now, with all of that being said, right? And say, I went out and I did those water sports. And then I looked up and I caught myself after. I looked up because as we were kayaking, there were people zip lining over our heads, right on this zip line. And my wife was like, would you do that? I was like, no. Guess what? Well, now I have to. Because the moment that you find that limit, it's time to push. Now, I'm not saying be stupid, right? I'm not telling you to go swim with sharks with no protective gear. Like, that's dumb. That's not what I'm saying. Okay? But what I am saying is, in order for you to really accomplish the things that you were designed to accomplish, in order for you to be the superhero that you were supposed to be, those moments in time when things come up against you and you feel that fear and that fear stops you, that fear paralyzes you, that's the moment in time to get up and put one foot in front of the other and say, yes, I'm going to do it. Yes, I'm going to do it. That's what it takes. And so for me, the water sports was practice. It was practice. That was a practice field. So that when I get in the game, the business game, now I can really play. Now I can play. Now I can play. Now I've built the confidence to be able to take the risks that need to be taken, to do the things that need to be done. So, what risk are you going to take? That's my question to you.